it's late, or it feels late in that way your body knows, even if the clock doesn't look dramatic. You're lying there in the dark or the dim, eyes tired, and your mind is still moving like it didn't get the memo that the day is over. Maybe tonight was supposed to be different. Maybe you promised yourself you wouldn't scroll and then you did anyway. Maybe you tried the breathing thing, or counting, or that quiet deal you make with yourself. If I fall asleep now, I'll still get 5 hours, 4, 3, and somehow you're still here, awake, a little worn out by your own thoughts. There might be something specific circling around, a conversation that didn't sit right, an email waiting for you tomorrow, a decision you keep turning over, trying to see every possible angle. Or it might just be that familiar hum of worry with no clear shape, just enough to keep your system on alert when all you want is rest. Here you are anyway. You press play. That's already more than nothing. You brought yourself to this moment, to this bed, to this voice, even if part of you is skeptical and another part is just plain exhausted. Showing up like this is enough for now. So here's how this will go. I'll keep talking to you in a calm, steady way. Your job is simply to lie there. You don't have to follow every word. You don't have to agree with anything. You don't have to make anything happen. If your attention drifts away and comes back, that's fine. If you miss whole pieces of what I say, that's fine too. Sleep is not a test you can pass or fail here. There's no right way to listen. If you stay awake and just feel a little less wound up, that counts. If you drift off in the middle of a sentence and never hear the end, that also counts. Every version of this is acceptable. For now, just notice that you are horizontal. Your body is being held up by something that isn't you. The mattress is taking your weight, quietly doing its job without needing thanks. Feel where your back or your side or your stomach meets the bed. The broad, solid contact. The smaller points where there's a little more pressure. Let your attention move down, slowly, to the heaviness of your legs, the way your calves sink into the surface beneath them, the shape of your heels or your ankles, maybe touching the mattress, maybe resting against a blanket. No need to change anything. Just noticing where your body and the bed meet. Sense the fabric against your skin, the texture of your sheets, the softness or coolness of your pillowcase. Maybe there's a blanket pulled over you with a certain weight to it, a certain familiar feel along your arms or over your chest. Feel where the fabric brushes your shoulders, your neck, the side of your face. Notice the air on your skin, the temperature in the room. Maybe the air is a little cooler on your cheeks, on the tip of your nose, on your forehead. Maybe the space under the covers is warmer, held close around your body. You don't have to decide if it's comfortable or not. Just register that it's there, touching you, surrounding you. Pay quiet attention to your head resting on the pillow, the way the pillow gives way under the weight of your skull, how it rises up around the sides, cradling the back of your head, maybe the curve of your neck. Feel the exact angle your head has chosen, the way your jaw hangs or settles, the small muscles around your mouth. Somewhere nearby, there are the simple, ordinary things of your room. Maybe there's a bedside table with a glass of water, a phone face down, a book you meant to read. Maybe there's a lamp that's already off, or still casting a soft glow. There might be a chair with clothes draped over it, a pair of shoes set aside for tomorrow, a charger plugged in and waiting. The walls around you are just doing what walls do. They're standing where they always stand. The ceiling is above you, holding its place. If there's a door, it's in its usual position for the night, maybe pulled closed, maybe just resting mostly shut. Curtains or blinds are where you left them. The outside world is on the other side of all that, carrying on without needing you right now. Your bed has its own little territory in this space. The outline of the mattress, the edge where your hand might fall and feel nothing but air, the spot where your feet reach toward the end. This small, familiar rectangle is where your body has chosen to land for the night, however the day went. Now bring your attention gently to the movement in your chest. Notice how it rises and then falls without you having to start it or manage it. Air comes in, air goes out. There's a rhythm there that has been going on all day, all evening, even in the moments you were most distracted. You don't need to deepen it or slow it down. Just feel the simple fact that it's happening. Maybe you can feel the breath more clearly at your nose. A slight coolness as you breathe in, a faint warmth as you breathe out. Or perhaps you feel it more as your ribs expand, your stomach shifting a little with each cycle. However it shows up for you is fine. This is just you, breathing, in this room, in this bed. Your shoulders might still be holding something from earlier, a bit of tightness from sitting or from carrying the day around. You don't have to relax them on purpose. Just notice their position. Are they slightly lifted? Are they pressed into the mattress? Is one higher than the other? Let your awareness rest there for a moment, like a hand placed gently on each side. Here, just here. That's the whole thing for now. Not tomorrow's plans, not what you wish you'd said or done, not even the hope that this will finally be the night you sleep easily. Right now, the most honest thing is that you are lying in a bed, in a room, with a body that has done its best to get you through the day. If your mind wanders away from these simple details and rushes back into old worries or new ones, that doesn't mean this isn't working. Minds wander. That's what they do, especially at this hour. When you notice it, you can just gently turn your attention back to something small and real. The feel of the sheet on your hand, the weight of your feet, the breath moving in your chest. Nothing needs to be fixed tonight. You don't have to solve anything in the dark. You don't have to earn your rest by thinking everything through one more time. For these next moments, your thoughts can keep doing whatever they do, and your body can quietly be here, supported by the bed, held by the ordinary shapes of this room. If you like, you can imagine that the room itself is keeping watch. The furniture is where it always is. The objects around you are at rest. The door is in its place. The night outside is doing its own slow turning. In here, you get to be the one who doesn't have to be on duty. As we move on from this beginning, you can stay exactly as you are. Eyes open or closed, mind busy or beginning to soften at the edges. You don't have to keep track of time. You don't have to keep track of words. Just let this gentle noticing continue in the background, like a quiet light left on in a familiar room. For now, feel once more the weight of your body against the mattress, the pillow under your head, the blanket along your limbs, the air on your face. the slow, steady rise and fall of your breathing. You've arrived at this moment in this ordinary, quiet space. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. We'll go on from here together at the pace your tired mind can handle. The day is still trailing behind you, like a coat half shrugged from your shoulders. Each exhale loosens it a little more. Around you, this room is like a quiet doorway at the end of a long hallway you have already stepped through. Now the door behind you is waiting to be closed. Feel the weight of your body where it meets the bed, the way the mattress rises gently to meet you, like a hallway rug that has known your footsteps for years. Familiar, predictable. It does not ask for anything. It just receives your weight and keeps holding. Your hands have their own small gravity now. Notice where they rest, against your chest, on your stomach, by your sides, the fabric beneath your fingers. Maybe it is smooth, maybe a little textured, maybe one fingertip has found the edge of a seam. This is you arriving home. Imagine the day as something you have been carrying, like a bag held too long in one hand, the strap pressing into your skin, the way your fingers had to curl to keep from dropping it. For a moment, picture that bag set just inside an open doorway. You do not have to unpack it yet. You only need to feel that your hand is free. As your breath moves in and out, sense the small release in your shoulders. They have been holding the weight of hours, conversations, decisions, the little bracing you do without noticing. Now, it is as if you have stepped over the threshold and nudged the door with your heel. The outside sounds are still there, but a little muffled. A car passing far away, a pipe ticking in the wall, the faint hum of something mechanical. They belong to the other side of the door. Here, in this room, the air has its own quiet. It touches your skin with a softness that feels like stepping into familiar shoes at the end of the day. Not new, not exciting, just right. Notice the temperature against your face. Maybe there is a slight coolness across your cheeks, like the air in an entryway that has lost the heat from outside. Your blanket or sheet is the opposite, a steady warmth that gathers around your legs, your hips, your ribs. You are between these two layers, the cool of the room, the warmth of the bed. Like standing just inside the doorway with the night air behind you and the stillness of home in front of you. Your legs rest heavier now. Feel how your calves settle, the weight of your heels pressing down, the fabric giving just enough to memorize their shape. The bed takes that pressure without protest, the way a worn floorboard remembers where you always step. Every part of you that touches the bed is like a bag set down. Your back, your hips, your shoulders. One by one, they arrive and stay. If your mind is still moving quickly, that is all right. Minds often keep walking even after the body has come inside, like someone pacing in the entryway, still talking about the day, shoes still on, keys still in hand. You do not have to silence it. Just notice that your body has already taken its shoes off. Feel the curve of your toes inside whatever covers them. Sock, sheet, bare air. Notice if they are curled or stretched. Gently allow them to spread as if they have just stepped out of tight shoes and found the soft mat near the door. Your toes know the difference between pavement and carpet, between outside and inside. Right now, they are choosing inside. The air around your neck and shoulders may feel a little cooler than the rest of you, like the faint draft that slips under a door frame, reminding you there is a world out there. But it is no longer your job to stand in it. Your job now is simply to lean all the way into this room. Notice the place where your head meets the pillow, the way the pillow rises up to cradle the back of your skull, your ears, the curve of your neck, as if someone has placed a soft, steady hand there and will not move it away. The muscles along your jaw have been working all day, even when you were not speaking. See if they can soften, just a little, your lips resting together, your tongue finding a comfortable place, your teeth no longer needing to hold anything, like setting a heavy key ring down in a small bowl by the door. The sound of it's quiet in this room, but you know the feeling, that tiny clink that means, I am in now. I do not need these again tonight. Imagine the thoughts that keep circling as small objects in that bag by the door. Emails, messages, things you wish you had said differently, worries about tomorrow. You are not throwing them away. You are simply not carrying them in your hands. They can stay in the bag, resting against each other, the zipper half closed, the strap relaxed, the bag leaning its full weight into the floorboards just inside that doorway in your mind. Your chest rises and falls, a steady, familiar motion, each breath like walking further into the quiet part of the house, away from the door, past the hallway, toward the softest room. Feel the fabric under your shoulders. Maybe there is a wrinkle there, a slight ridge pressing into your skin. Notice how specific it is, this one small fold of cloth, in this one place, touching you in this one way. It anchors you here, in this exact spot. Nothing else is asking for you. The ceiling does not need you. The walls are holding their own weight. The night outside can continue without your attention. Your attention can shrink down to the size of your own body, the curve of your spine, the space between your ribs, the way your belly moves gently with each breath, like a door that swings open just a little, then closes again without a sound. If any part of you still feels like it is standing, like it is halfway in and halfway out, you might imagine that part stepping fully inside, your forehead maybe, still leaning toward tomorrow. Invite it to come in. The space between your eyebrows can smooth as if someone has turned off the bright overhead light in the entryway. The glare is gone. Only soft, indirect light remains. Enough to see that everything you brought home is right where you left it. Nothing urgent, nothing demanding. Your arms have their own story of the day, lifting, reaching, carrying, typing, holding. Now they rest. Feel the length of them, from shoulder to elbow, from elbow to wrist, from wrists to fingertips. Each segment is like a handle you have been gripping. Now, one by one, those handles are set down. The bend of your elbow settles into the mattress. The back of your hand finds a place where it does not need to do anything. Your fingers can uncurl, like dropping the strap of a bag you no longer need to hold. If your mind tries to pick it up again, that is all right. Minds are used to carrying. Each time you notice, you can gently imagine placing that strap back down on the floor by the door. The bag will not go anywhere. It will wait. For now, the only weight that matters is the weight of your own body, fully inside this room. Feel the way gravity holds you, not as a force you must resist, but as a soft insistence that you belong exactly where you are lying. The bed shapes itself around you, the blanket shapes itself over you. You are like someone who has finally closed the door behind them. The latch clicks with a small, final sound. Outside is on one side. You are on the other. Sense that subtle boundary. The air near the imagined doorway is cooler, busier, touched by drafts and echoes. The air where you are is still, thicker somehow, full of your own warmth, your own quiet. If any sound reaches you now, let it be like hearing it through that closed door, softer, less sharp, a murmur instead of a demand. You are not out there answering. You are in here resting. Your breathing has its own rhythm now, slow, unforced. Each inhale like stepping further into a familiar room. Each exhale like setting something down on a low table and walking away from it. The bed beneath you, the pillow under your head, the blanket around you, all of it is part of this small, enclosed place you have entered. You have arrived. The day is on the other side of the door. For these next moments, you can simply lie here as if you have dropped your bags just inside the entrance, taken off your shoes, and stretched out on the nearest soft surface. Nothing to carry, nothing to hold up. Just the simple, solid feeling of being inside, with the door gently, quietly closed behind you. The room around you has its own kind of quiet, walls holding their steady silence, corners softened by shadows, a ceiling above like a gentle lid over a box that has finally been closed for the night. The air touches your skin in a particular way here, maybe a little cool on your cheeks, a little warmer where the blanket covers you. It's the kind of air that doesn't move much, that settles, that wraps around you like a still, soft presence. Your body is part of this room now. The mattress beneath you has learned your shape. Notice how it gives under the weight of your shoulders, the curve of your back, the heaviness of your hips. There is a quiet conversation happening between your body and the bed. Pressure and response. Weight and support. The fabric against your skin has its own texture. Maybe cotton, maybe something smoother. The way it brushes your arms, the way it gathers lightly under your hands. Tiny folds of cloth holding still, waiting as if they've been prepared all day just to meet you here. Each exhale settles a little deeper into the space. You might hear something faint beyond the walls, a distant car, a door closing somewhere else, the low hum of a vent or a refrigerator. These sounds belong to another part of the world. In here, they reach you only as softened echoes, like voices from a hallway when your door is closed. This room is the hallway's end, the place where things stop needing to move. Feel the weight of your head on the pillow, the way the pillow rises slightly around the sides, cradling the back of your skull. There's a small, steady pressure against the back of your ears, the base of your neck. This is how the room holds you, not with hands, but with fabric and filling and the steady, patient surface beneath you. Your jaw can rest here. Your tongue can rest against the floor of your mouth. Even the tiny muscles around your eyes can soften, as though they are finally allowed to look at nothing at all. Here, in this stillness, the room is like a nest built just for your body. The light is gentle, even if your eyes are closed. Maybe there's a faint glow from a hallway or the dim outline of furniture, or maybe it's nearly dark with only the softest hint of shape and shadow. Either way, the light does not ask anything of you. It just sits quietly on the surfaces, on the walls, on the floor. The walls themselves are like quiet shoulders around you. They mark the edges of your world tonight. You don't have to look beyond them. You don't have to listen beyond them. Everything important has moved inside these four lines of space. Feel the way your arms rest where you've placed them, at your sides, across your chest, or folded gently over your stomach. Notice the exact point where your skin meets the sheet. A narrow band of contact, warm and steady. Your arms have their own weight, their own gravity, and the bed accepts all of it without question. Your hands might be slightly curled or open and loose. There is no task for them here, no keys to press, no handles to grip, no screens to hold. Just the soft imprint of your fingers against fabric, the faint warmth gathering in your palms. With each breath, the room seems to breathe with you. As your chest rises, the blanket lifts a little. As it falls, the blanket settles back, a quiet tide of cloth. The air in front of your nose feels a touch warmer as you exhale, a touch cooler as you draw the next breath in. This small rhythm is the only thing that really moves now. Notice the weight of your legs, the pull of gravity through your thighs, your knees, your calves, the way your heels press down into the mattress. There might be a small indentation where each heel rests, a little hollow the bed has made just for them. The fabric gives slightly and then holds, without complaint, without strain. Your feet can be as still as closed books on a shelf. If there is a blanket over them, feel its gentle heaviness across your toes, over the tops of your feet, along your ankles. That weight is like a quiet hand, steady and unchanging. If your feet are uncovered, notice the coolness of the air on your skin, the way the air brushes the spaces between your toes, the way it makes you aware of each small bone, each line of your foot. The room does not rush you. Time feels slower here. Somewhere beyond these walls, clocks are still moving, screens are still glowing, conversations are still happening. But in this room, those things are like distant weather. You might know they exist, but you don't feel them directly. What you feel is the softness beneath you, the air on your skin, the familiar shapes that surround you. There might be objects resting quietly nearby. A chair holding clothes, a table with a glass, a book, a lamp. They are all at rest too, doing nothing, asking nothing, just sharing the same still air with you. Your spine is supported along its length, from the base of your skull, down the curve of your neck, between your shoulder blades, through the middle of your back, all the way to your tailbone. Every point that touches the bed is another place where this room is saying, wordlessly, I've got you, right here. Even the spaces that don't touch the bed are held, the hollow beneath your lower back, the small arch under your knees if they are slightly bent. Those spaces are like pockets of quiet air tucked safely inside the shape of your body. As you breathe, notice how your clothing or your blanket moves with you, a slight stretch across your ribs, a gentle slide against your stomach. The fabric doesn't resist. It follows your shape, your motion, your stillness. The temperature in this room has its own softness, not too warm, not too cold, or perhaps just a hint one way or the other. If there is a coolness, it sharpens your awareness of where the blanket ends and the air begins. If there is warmth, it gathers in the folds of the covers, in the curve of your body, like a quiet pool of heat. This room has seen you on other days, busy days, tired days, restless nights. It remembers all of it in the dents on the mattress, in the way the pillow has flattened just a little where your head usually lies. Tonight, it offers the same simple things: a place to lie down, something soft beneath you, something gentle over you, air that does not demand anything. Every small sound inside this room belongs here: the faint rustle when you shift, the whisper of fabric as you breathe, maybe the tiny click of cooling metal or the soft buzz of something electric. They are like the room's own heartbeat, slow and steady, barely there. Your eyelids can grow heavier in this light, in this air. If thoughts come, they can move through the room the way shadows move across the ceiling when a car passes outside. They appear for a moment, then slide away, leaving the surfaces unchanged. The walls do not record them. The bed does not hold them. Only your body is held here in the most simple, physical way. Feel again the exact shape of your body in this space, the outline of you against the mattress, the way the blanket drapes over your shoulders, your chest, your legs, the way your head fits into its small hollow in the pillow, as if the room has carved out a space precisely for this moment. Here, in this quiet, the room becomes a kind of container. 4 walls, a ceiling, a floor, a bed, a body. Nothing more is needed. Nothing less would be enough. You can rest inside this container exactly as you are. The world outside can keep spinning, doors can keep opening and closing, lights can keep turning on and off. In here, the only job is to lie down, to feel the contact between your skin and the fabric, to notice the steady weight of your limbs, to breathe in this still, familiar air. The room will keep holding its quiet, its shadows, its softness, and your body can keep sinking little by little into the simple fact of being here. The air around you carries a slight coolness now, as if the long day has finally stepped back and evening has slipped quietly into the garden. Breath moves in, breath moves out, like a slow wind passing through leaves that no longer rush, only whisper. Imagine you are here in this twilight garden. The light is soft and low, the kind of light that doesn't ask anything of you. Shapes are still clear enough to recognize, but their edges have begun to blur, as if the garden itself is sighing into rest. Your inhale is like the last pale glow along the tops of the plants. Your exhale is the deepening blue that gathers underneath, cool and steady. Each breath changes the sky of this inner place just a little. Notice the way the air feels on your skin. Not cold, not warm, just that gentle evening temperature that brushes over bare arms and cheeks, and then lingers without pushing. Your body is the soil here, dark and rich, holding everything that has grown today. The weight of your hands has its own quiet gravity. They rest like small stones placed carefully along a garden path, exactly where they can finally be still. Nothing in them needs to grip right now. Fingers can soften, as if they've been uncurled and left among the leaves. With your next inhale, feel the breath reach your chest. As it rises, picture tall stems standing a little straighter, catching the last of the light. As you breathe out, sense those same stems easing, settling back, their work for the day complete. Across this garden, the air is cooling. The warmth that baked the ground is drifting upward, leaving the surface calm, almost hushed. In the same way, any leftover tension can rise from your muscles, like heat lifting from sun-touched stones, disappearing into the dimming air. Bring your attention to your face. The small muscles around your eyes, your jaw, your mouth. They have been watching, speaking, holding expression all day, like flowers turning toward every movement in the sky. Now, as twilight deepens, they can fold in. The lids of your eyes rest like petals drawing together, not forced, just following the natural pull of evening. The space behind those closed lids is like the shaded corner of the garden where light still exists, but in a softer, quieter way. As you breathe in, your belly rises. As you breathe out, it falls. Think of it as the gentle lift and sink of a large leaf in the night air, stirred only by the slightest breeze. This is the rhythm that belongs to you, and to this garden, and to this hour. Your shoulders are like low, rounded shrubs along the edge of a path. During the day, they may have held themselves high, bracing against imagined storms. Now, feel them drop a little, branches no longer needing to reach or shield. They can simply rest against the darkening sky. Move your awareness down your spine, one vertebra at a time, like stepping slowly along flat stones set into the soil. Each point of contact with the surface beneath you is a stone that has found its place, steady, quiet, unmoving. Your back presses down, and the support beneath you rises to meet it, like earth that has waited all day for the chance to hold the roots of every plant. You don't have to hold yourself up here. The garden floor knows how to carry weight without complaint. In the distance of this inner garden, sounds grow softer. Daytime rustles and calls fade, replaced by the small, almost secret movements that only appear at dusk. In your body, that might feel like thoughts beginning to move more slowly, like insects that have stopped their frantic flight and now rest on stems, wings folded. Bring your attention to your throat. This is the narrow path between your mind and your body, where words and worries have traveled back and forth. Imagine a climbing vine there that has finished its reach for the day. It no longer needs to climb. It simply clings gently, held by the structure beneath it. With each exhale, the muscles in your throat soften, like tendrils relaxing their grip just a little. Breath moves through more easily. The path is clear, but quiet now. Your chest, your ribs are like a circle of low wooden fences enclosing a small treasured bed of flowers. They rise with the in-breath, widening that circle. They fall with the out-breath, drawing it back in. Inside that circle, your heart beats, steady as a gardener who knows there is no rush, only the next small, patient movement. Feel into your hips and pelvis. This is the deep soil of the garden, the place where roots sink down and hold. Any tightness here can be imagined as knots in those roots, twisted from strain. With every slow breath out, those knots can begin to loosen, fibers separating, finding more space in the dark, cool earth. Your legs stretch out like quiet garden paths, extending from that central soil. They don't need to carry you anywhere right now. Calves and thighs can be like soft earth that has already been walked upon and now lies undisturbed, imprint fading, surface smoothing itself over. Bring attention to the backs of your knees, the bend where movement often begins. Here, imagine small shaded plants that only ever see the indirect light of day. They thrive in the cool, in the hidden places. As your breath deepens, these hidden muscles can rest too, no longer bracing, no longer ready to spring. Down to your ankles, slender stems at the base of taller growth. They have balanced you through uneven ground, through quick steps and long hours. Now they are still, surrounded by the gathering blue of evening. There is nothing they must balance in this moment. Your feet lie like broad leaves pressed gently into the soil. Feel the weight of your heels, the curve of your arches, the soft pads of your toes. Each point of contact is a place where the garden and your body meet, where support is quietly exchanged without words. As you notice your breath again, picture the entire garden responding. Inhale, and a faint silver glow brushes the outlines of leaves and stems. Exhale, and the glow recedes, leaving them in deeper shadow, content and unmoving. Thoughts may still wander through, like late bees drifting from flower to flower, checking, even though the blossoms have closed. They might circle a few times, uncertain where to land now that the light has changed. They can do that, and you can still rest. The garden does not chase them. It simply darkens, and in that darkening, the bees grow tired and find their own place to be still. Feel the quiet behind your forehead, not empty, just spacious, like a wide, tilled bed waiting for seeds. But tonight, nothing needs to be planted. The ground can remain untouched, cooling under the evening air. With each slow breath, the twilight deepens. Colors fade to shades of gray and blue. Edges soften. The garden is still here, but it has shifted into its nighttime self, where growth continues invisibly beneath the surface without effort you can see. Your body is part of this place now. Muscles unwinding like leaves folding in, joints resting like stones that have found their final position, breath moving like the gentlest wind that stirs only the highest tips of the tallest plants. If anxiety rises, it can be imagined as a sudden rustle in the undergrowth, a startled movement among branches. Notice it, the way you might notice a bird shifting before sleep. Then feel how quickly the stillness returns, how the branches settle back, how the leaves resume their quiet. Here, in this evening garden within you, nothing has to be fixed or solved. You are simply another living thing in the fading light, allowed to pause, to soften, to sink into the cool, patient earth of your own body. Breath in, breath out. The garden grows darker, more peaceful with every cycle. You can remain here, in this twilight, as long as you need, held by the slow, steady rhythm of night arriving. Each exhale settles a little more now. Breath moving in, breath moving out. As the air flows through you, imagine something very simple. Behind your forehead, behind your eyes, behind all the busy movement of thoughts, there is a wide, open sky. Not up above you, not far away, right here, inside, the sky of your mind. Thoughts still come and go. They always do. But they are not the sky. They are what passes through it. As you breathe in, feel the coolness at the tip of your nose. As you breathe out, feel the slight warmth on your upper lip. With that gentle rhythm, picture the space behind your brow softening, as if a bright, tight patch of sky is dimming into evening. The muscles around your eyes loosen, like a cloud that has stopped holding its sharp edges. Your eyelids rest, your cheeks settle. Behind them, that inner sky stretches out. Quiet, vast. Thoughts drift through like clouds. Some are thin and wispy, barely there, a passing idea, a tiny memory. They cross your awareness, then fade at the edges, dissolving back into blue. Other thoughts arrive heavier, dense, full of weather. They might feel like storm clouds that park themselves over one small part of your sky. Notice how your breath keeps moving, even when those clouds gather. Inhale, exhale. The air moves in your chest. Your ribs widen a little. Your shoulders ride the breath up, then ease back down. The sky behind your thoughts does not strain to push the clouds away. It simply holds them. There is room for all of it. As your jaw releases a bit more, feel that release as a clearing. The tiny muscles at the hinge of your jaw, near your ears, soften. Imagine those places as small corners of sky that had been clenched, like tight fists of cloud. With each out-breath, those fists uncurl, edges blur. The sky reappears around them. Above your tongue, inside your mouth, there is a sense of open space. Let that open space be part of your inner sky too. Thoughts may still speak. They may still list worries, plans, questions. You do not have to argue with them. You do not have to answer. Watch them rise like a new shape forming in the air. A little puff of cloud, a sudden streak, and notice something quiet beneath that movement. The way your chest keeps rising and falling, the way the mattress supports the full weight of your back. Your body is lying here, heavy, real, and inside, the sky of your mind is vast enough that no single cloud can fill it. Bring your attention to your forehead again. Feel the gentle pull of gravity on that area, the way the skin lies over bone. Imagine your forehead as the horizon line of this inner sky. Above it, thoughts drift. Below it, your face, your neck, your shoulders rest like the steady ground beneath the air. When a thought of anxiety appears, see if you can give it a shape. Maybe it looks like a fast, wind-torn cloud racing across the sky. Maybe it's darker, thicker, hanging low. You do not need to fix it. Simply notice its edges. How tall is it from top to bottom? How wide? While you observe, keep breathing. In through the nose or the mouth if that is easier. Out with a little sigh if that feels natural. As the breath moves, imagine a very high, thin layer of air above all the clouds. Clear, untouched. This is the part of you that notices, the part that can see the clouds without becoming them. Your shoulders rest deeper into whatever is beneath you. The back of your head presses down, making its own small imprint. That gentle weight is like an anchor for the sky, a reminder that while thoughts float and swirl, your body remains here, held, unmoving. Move your attention slowly down the back of your neck. Feel the length of it, any tightness, any warmth. As you breathe out, picture a slow, soft breeze passing through that area of sky, not strong. Just enough to move a few strands of cloud to open a thin path of clear space. That clear path is not noisy or bright. It is simply open, quiet. Behind your closed eyes, you might sense a kind of darkness, not a heavy darkness, more like the deep color of the sky just after sunset, when the last light has slipped away and the air feels wide and cool. Thoughts are like the last birds crossing that darkening sky. They move in small flocks. They change direction suddenly. You can watch them if you like. See how they turn together, then disappear into the distance of your awareness. Or you can let them pass without tracking them at all. Your breath knows what to do without your help. In, out. The sky of your mind knows what to do too. It has held countless clouds before tonight. It will hold these as well. Bring your attention now to the space behind your ears, that often forgotten place where the skull curves down toward the neck. There, imagine the sky deepening in color, becoming still, almost velvety. Any leftover thoughts about the day, about tomorrow, about what if, gather like a faint band of cloud along that curve. With each exhale, that band stretches thinner, not ripped away, just spread out so wide that each piece becomes almost transparent. You may still feel the presence of those thoughts, but they lose some of their weight. Your arms lie at your sides or wherever they have settled. Notice their heaviness. Think of that heaviness as the horizon line again, stable, unmoving. Above that horizon, thoughts as clouds can shift and scatter all night long. But the sky itself does not fall. If a thought feels especially sharp, as if it wants to pull you up and out of rest, pause with it. See it as a single, very bright cloud, well-defined, full of energy. Then widen your attention. Notice how much sky surrounds it, how, from far enough away, even the brightest cloud is just a small mark on a huge canvas. Your breathing body is that distance, that wider view, the rise of your chest, the slow drop of your belly. These are like the steady turning of the earth beneath the sky. Quiet, continuous. Thoughts may keep forming. Clouds may keep changing shape. Weather may come and go. But the sky behind your thoughts remains untouched by every storm. Feel the weight of your legs now, the pull of gravity along your thighs, your knees, toes, your shins. The simple, grounded fact of being here. From this grounded place, look inward again toward that inner sky. Notice if there are any patches that feel especially crowded, a cluster of clouds, a busy corner. Gently breathe into that area as if sending a slow, soft current of air through it. Not to blow anything away, just to remind the clouds that they can move, that they are not stuck. Some may thin out, some may drift to the edges, some may stay exactly where they are, and still the sky is present beneath them. Vast, quiet. You are resting in that quiet now, not by erasing your thoughts, not by forcing stillness, simply by remembering the sky that has been there all along, behind every anxious cloud, behind every restless gust. Breath in, breath out. Clouds passing, sky remaining. Each exhale settles a little more, like a slow current finding its way around a bend. Inside your closed eyes, imagine a river, not far away, not out in some distant landscape. This river runs through the quiet space of your own body. Breath is the water. Inhale, and the river gathers itself. Exhale, and it moves on. Picture the source of this river somewhere high behind your forehead, a small spring, clear and steady. With every in-breath, that spring fills. With every out-breath, it spills forward, forming a narrow stream that begins to flow. It slides down through your temples, along the inside of your skull. Cool, gentle, unhurried. As you breathe out, feel that inner water drifting downward behind your eyes, softening the tiny muscles there. The river widens as it reaches the back of your head. It curves down the neck, over places that may have been holding themselves tight all day. Imagine the water touching each small knot, swirling around it, loosening it, not forcing anything. Just steady contact, again and again with every breath out. The weight of your head rests where it is. The river does the moving for you. Follow it as it reaches your shoulders. On the inhale, it pauses, deepens. On the exhale, it pours over the rounded stones of each shoulder, right and left. If there is tension there, see it as dry leaves caught in the shallows. The water rises, lifts them, and begins to carry them downstream. You do not need to sort the leaves. You do not need to decide which ones to keep. The current knows only one direction, downstream. Feel your collarbones from the inside like smooth riverbanks. The water glides between them down the center of your chest. Inhale, and the riverbed expands, ribs widening just a little to receive the flow. Exhale, and the water moves on, slow and sure. Any tightness in your chest can be pebbles on the bottom. They do not stop the river. They simply change the sound of its passing. Notice the rhythm. Breath in, the river gathers. Breath out, it travels. Again and again. At the center of your chest, there may be a familiar ache or a restless flutter. Imagine that place as a small inlet, a quiet pool beside the main current. The river reaches it, circles gently, and then returns to its path. Whatever has collected there today, the water can touch. It does not rush. It does not argue. It simply offers movement where worry has been sitting still. As you breathe, feel that pool gradually clearing, the surface smoothing. The river continues downward through your ribs. On the inhale, the water deepens around each rib, tracing their curve from the inside. On the exhale, it slips between them, washing along the inner walls, rinsing away the grit of the day. Any thought that tries to cling, imagine it as a small twig caught on the side. The current rises, tugs, and the twig loosens. Then it turns, spins once, and is carried along. Your belly is the wide, slow middle of the river. Here, the water spreads out. It moves with the gentle rise and fall of your breathing. Inhale, and the river swells, the banks stretching just a little. Exhale, and it thins, sliding forward in a smooth sheet. If your stomach has been knotted, if it has held the tight curl of unspoken fears, see those knots as clumps of silt. The water moves over and through them, grain by grain, not all at once, just a gradual softening, edges crumbling, shapes changing. The muscles of your abdomen can follow that softening. Notice if they are gripping. Then feel the river pass through, inviting them to loosen, the way wet sand loosens under a flowing stream. Your lower back is the hidden curve of the river as it turns. Sometimes that curve bears the weight of everything you have carried. Allow the water to press gently against that inner bend. On the inhale, it pools there, cushioning. On the exhale, it pushes onward, easing some of that weight downstream. Imagine each breath out as a small release of pressure from your spine. Not dramatic, just a fraction lighter, again and again. The river reaches your hips, the strong stones on either side of its path. It flows between them, cool and steady. If your hips feel stiff or sore, see those sensations as rough patches on the stones. The water does not avoid them. It runs right over them, smoothing, polishing, wearing down sharpness with patient repetition. Your thighs lie along the river's course, long and solid. The water glides through the deep muscles there, finding every hidden pocket of strain. With each exhale, it washes through those pockets, like eddies clearing themselves. You may notice warmth or heaviness or nothing at all. Whatever you feel is simply the river doing its quiet work. Knees can hold the memory of bracing yourself, of standing ready. Inside, they are like small gates across the stream. If they feel tight, imagine those gates lifting a little with each breath. The river passes under, cool and clear, easing the hinges, oiling the joints with its steady motion. Down into your calves, the current narrows again. It quickens just a bit, enough to sweep away the finer grains of tension. Any restlessness in your legs, any urge to move, can be seen as leaves spinning in the flow. They spin, they bob, and then the current takes them on. Your ankles are the last small turns before the river opens out. The water curves around each one, tracing the delicate bones. Feel your feet as the wide, soft delta where the river meets a larger stillness. Here, the current slows. It spreads into many small channels between the bones of your feet, under the arches, around each toe. On the inhale, it gathers from all those tiny streams. On the exhale, it empties into a vast, quiet basin that seems to extend beyond your body. Imagine that basin as the place where worry cannot hold its shape. Every thought the river has carried from your head, your chest, your belly, your limbs arrives here. By the time it reaches this wide water, it is only faint color in a deep, clear pool. You do not have to chase those thoughts. The river has already brought them here. They dissolve on their own. Now trace the whole journey again in a single breath. Inhale and feel the source behind your forehead, the gathering of water along the spine of your body. Exhale and sense the flow from crown to soles, one long river moving through you, carrying the day's debris to that quiet basin at your feet. Again, inhale, gathering. Exhale, releasing downstream. If new worries appear, picture them as small bits dropped into the current at whatever point they arise. They are already in the water, already moving. You do not need to push them away. You can simply notice and then feel the current take them. The weight of your body is the riverbed now, still, solid, holding. Inside that stillness, the water keeps its slow circular path, up with each inhale, down with each exhale. A soft, continuous motion, like breathing made visible. For a few moments, rest in the sense that anything heavy can be given to this river, not all at once, just a little with each breath out. The flow will continue even as your thoughts grow quieter, even as you drift nearer to sleep. The river knows its way. Each exhale settles a little more of the night around you. Inside, the breath moves in its own slow rhythm. Outside, somewhere just beyond the edges of thought, a path begins to appear. It's a narrow country lane under a wide, quiet sky. The ground is firm beneath your feet, and the world is washed in moonlight. Feel the breath arrive, cool and gentle, as if the air itself has been walking this lane for a long time. Inhale, and the moonlit air seems to fill your chest. Exhale, and your body takes a small, unhurried step forward along the path. The surface beneath your feet is steady, not perfectly smooth, but honest. A mixture of packed earth and scattered stones, worn down by many quiet evenings like this. With each breath out, imagine the sole of one foot pressing into that ground, feeling its solid patience. As the air leaves your lungs, the heel touches first, a soft roll through the arch, then the toes spreading, meeting the earth. Breath and step, step and breath, moving together in one slow, continuous motion. The path is edged with a low forest, trees standing like calm witnesses. Their branches hold the moonlight in broken patterns, silver resting on leaves and bark. You don't need to see them clearly. You can feel their stillness, the way they lean in, making the lane feel held and sheltered. Each inhale is like lifting your foot, lightening it, preparing it to move. Each exhale is the gentle placing down, the weight returning, the body trusting the ground again. This simple rhythm is enough. Air in, foot lifts, air out, foot finds the earth. Notice how the breath moves your ribs from the inside. On the in-breath, there is a soft widening, like the lane opening just a little ahead of you. On the out-breath, there is a quiet drawing back, like the path narrowing comfortably around your steps, guiding you onward. The night air along this lane has its own texture, cool against the face, soft around the throat. As you breathe in, imagine it brushing the inside of your nose, sliding down the back of your throat like moonlight slipping between branches. Your shoulders can walk more slowly than your thoughts. They may have been held up, ready for something, braced against the unknown. Now, as your inner feet move along this moonlit road, let the shoulders sink, as if the straps of a heavy bag have finally been set down on the side of the lane. Feel the upper back widen with each inhale, like the forest opening a small clearing behind you. Feel it ease with each exhale, as if the trees gently lean back into place, content, unhurried. The path continues, unbroken, ahead and behind. You don't need to know where it began or where it ends. All that matters is this step and the next breath and the way they match each other so naturally. As your chest rises with the in-breath, imagine the moon just above the trees, riding higher for a moment. As your chest softens with the out-breath, the moon seems to settle again, steady and watchful, pouring its pale light onto the lane. Your arms hang by your sides as you walk. Maybe there's the slightest swing, barely there. On the inhale, they feel a touch lighter, as if the cool night air slips beneath them. On the exhale, they grow a little heavier, a little more relaxed, as if the weight in your hands is flowing down into the earth with every step. The muscles of your neck can follow this path too. Breath in, and the back of the neck lengthens, like the lane stretching gently into the distance. Breath out, and the small muscles around the throat soften, as if the collar of the night has loosened one more button. Listen, inside yourself, for the sound of this quiet walk. The slow, steady beat of your heart is like the muffled thud of feet on earth. The whisper of your breathing is the soft scuff of each step. You're not rushing, you're not arriving, you're simply moving through this moonlit space at the pace of your own lungs. Your lower back, often carrying more than it can say, walks this lane as well. With each inhale, give it a little space, as though the path behind you widens, offering room for everything you've held today. With each exhale, feel a gentle release, like setting down small, invisible bundles at the edge of the road, one by one, where the grass meets the dirt. The forest edge keeps you company. You might sense the faint smell of earth and leaves, cool and dry in the night. You might feel how the air near the trees is just a touch cooler, like a soft hand on a warm forehead. This is a lane made for slow walking, for breathing that doesn't hurry itself. Bring attention down to the hips, the quiet hinges of each step. Inhale, and they feel buoyed, as if the moonlight has slipped under them, lifting just a little. Exhale, and they settle, heavy and sure, swinging your legs forward in an easy, predictable arc. The thighs follow, patient and strong. They don't need to push. They simply move like the steady line of the lane beneath you. On the in-breath, there is readiness. On the out-breath, there is follow-through, the soft weight of your leg finding its place again. Knees bend and straighten in their own gentle rhythm. They have carried you through so many days of standing watch over your life. Here, in this moonlit walk, they only have to bend enough for one slow step, and then another, and another. Feel down into the calves and shins, the lower parts of your inner stride. As you inhale, imagine cool moonlight resting along them like a pale ribbon. As you exhale, that coolness seeps inward, easing any tightness, like a hand smoothing wrinkles from a long-worn path. Now the ankles, small but faithful. On the in-breath, they feel fluid, ready to roll forward. On the out-breath, they find their line again, steady, sure, as the sole of the foot meets the ground. The soles themselves are your deepest contact with this quiet lane. Imagine the texture under them, not sharp, just irregular enough to remind you that this is real ground, not a polished floor. Tiny shifts as you place your weight, the way the earth accepts it without question, every single time. Inhale, and the arches lift, like a small bridge over a shallow hollow. Exhale, and they soften, the whole foot spreading just a little more, giving more of itself to the path. With each breath, your inner walk grows slower, more spacious. The lane stretches out, but there is no rush to reach its end. You can linger in each step. You can linger in each exhale. Somewhere above, beyond the trees, the stars keep their own silent watch. You don't need to look up. You can feel their distance and the way the moon gathers their light and pours it down onto this one narrow road where you are walking. Notice how your body now feels like that lane, a clear way through the night. Breath moves along it, like a traveler who finally has time to notice the sound of their own footsteps. Inhale, and the path within you brightens, edges soft and silver. Exhale, and the shadows lengthen gently, not threatening, just deepening the sense of rest all around. With every step of this inner walk, your muscles soften a little more. Your thoughts can walk behind you, a few paces back, quieter now, as if speaking in low voices that no longer need to be heard. You continue along the moonlit path at the pace of your breathing. One slow step, one soft exhale. The ground holds, the trees stand. The night walks with you, unhurried, all the way toward rest. The quiet inside you stretches out like tracks in the dark. Somewhere in that darkness, a slow train is moving, not rushing, just a steady, patient glide through the sleeping countryside. Feel your body as one of the carriages, heavy, held, linked into something that knows where it is going, even if you do not. The rhythm is gentle, a soft, repeated rocking, almost too small to notice at first, like the way your breath moves your chest, back and forth, back and forth. Outside the window of this night train, the land is passing. Fields, maybe, or clusters of houses with only one light left on. You do not need to see them clearly. They are only shapes in the dark, sliding by. Inside the carriage, the air is quiet and still. There is a low hum beneath everything, the sound of wheels on rails, a faint vibration in the floor, in the seat, in the frame of the bed that holds you now. Each time you breathe out, the train seems to lean a little into the curve of the track. A slow sway, a soft tilt. Your muscles answer that motion without effort, easing, following. The countryside outside is mostly asleep, a single distant farmhouse window, a line of trees, black against a slightly lighter sky, then nothing again for a while, just the impression of space and the quiet idea of distance being gently folded behind you. Thoughts rise like those small scattered lights along the way. A memory, a worry, a sentence that never quite finishes. They appear at the edge of awareness, then slip backward, behind the train, already far away. You are not standing at the window, trying to track them. You are resting in your seat or your bunk, feeling the motion do the work for you. Whatever appears outside, the train carries you past it. You do not have to decide what to keep or what to understand. Somewhere far ahead, there are stations with names, places you could get off, choices you could make. But tonight, those platforms are just ideas, soft, blurry signs that the train passes through without stopping. You might sense one now and then, a slowdown, almost a pause, the faint suggestion of a platform light, a bench, a clock, doors that might open, then the subtle pull as the train gathers itself and moves on again. Inside, the lights are dim, edges soften. Your hands, your feet, your face, they begin to feel less separate, like they are all part of the same quiet carriage gently rocking along the rails. The weight of your body is steady, like luggage tucked safely above you or beside you. It is simply there. No need to hold it up. No need to check on it. The fabric beneath you is the worn, familiar seat of a night train. It gives a little under your weight. It remembers how many people have rested here, how many nights have been carried across this same stretch of track. Every small sound folds into the journey. A soft rattle somewhere overhead, the faint clink of something shifting in the next compartment, the distant murmur of another traveler's breath, already deep in sleep. Time loosens in this motion. Minutes do not matter. Hours do not arrange themselves in order. There is only the steady forward slide, the sense of being carried through the dark from one unnamed place to another. Your mind might try to count the miles, to trace the route, to picture a map. And then the rhythm of the wheels blurs those lines again. They become just another pattern, like the passing of fence posts or the flicker of distant crossings. If a thought presses a little closer, you can imagine it as a small station you pass through. You feel the train slow just a touch. The sign with the station's name is there, but you do not have to read it. The doors stay closed. The train glides on and the platform drifts backward into the dark. Your breathing matches the rails, A long, easy inhale, like the stretch between two distant ties. A soft, unhurried exhale, like the gentle thump as the wheels roll over the next one. Over and over, the same quiet pattern until the pattern fades into background. Inside this moving carriage, you are between places. Not where you started, not yet where you will arrive. Suspended in the in-between, where nothing needs to be decided. The night outside grows deeper. The shapes of trees and fields become softer, less distinct. Even the houses, when they appear, are just rectangles of shadow, with a window or two glowing faintly and then gone. Your thoughts follow that same path. Sharper outlines begin to blur. Questions lose their edges. They are there, then they are only impressions, then they are nothing at all. If there is a feeling that lingers, a tightness, a concern, you can place it gently on an empty seat across the aisle. It sits there quietly like a bag you will pick up in the morning. For now, it does not need to be opened. It can ride along without your attention. The train knows the way through this night. The tracks beneath it are already laid, already chosen. You are simply being moved along them, rocked and carried without effort. Notice how the borders of your body keep softening. The line where your back meets the bed or the seat becomes less clear. The sides of your legs, your arms, melt into the surface that holds them, as if the carriage and your body are one continuous shape, swaying together. Even your face, so used to holding expressions, can now become just another quiet window in this train. No need to signal anything to anyone. No need to watch the landscape. The lids of your eyes are like curtains drawn against the night while the journey goes on. Somewhere far ahead, the first hint of a future morning might exist. But here, in this moving darkness, that is only a rumor. A distant town the train will pass through much later when you are ready. For now, there is only the gentle rocking, the soft, repeating sounds, the sense of being carried through sleeping fields and quiet crossings. Thoughts can rise and drift back. Feelings can appear at the window and then fall away into the distance. You remain here in your quiet compartment, going nowhere you need to manage, at a pace you do not have to control. The rails stretch on. The countryside keeps sleeping, and you, like this night train, move deeper into the kind of darkness that holds you and rocks you and asks nothing more. The weight of your body has already begun to soften, as if the edges have loosened, as if the outline that used to feel so firm is now a little blurred. Somewhere just above you, imagine a quiet space suspended in the air. Not far, not high, just a gentle distance from the ground of the day. It might feel like a hammock hung in a still, dim room of sky, or a soft nest woven from threads of dusk and quiet. Whatever shape it takes, it is made for resting, made for holding. The air here has a hush to it, a soft, unmoving calm, as though sound itself has decided to rest. Notice how your body, lying where it is, begins to echo that feeling. The way your back settles, the way your shoulders sink, as if unseen hands are tying you into this moment with very loose, very gentle knots. Above the noise of clocks and plans, this suspended place waits, not rushing, not asking, simply open. With your next exhale, imagine you are rising just enough to meet it, not with effort, more like the way a feather lifts when someone walks by, barely, easily. You arrive in this quiet cradle in the air. It receives your weight without a sound. The surface beneath you gives, then holds. There is no strain in it at all. Feel how this sky hammock, this soft nest, understands heaviness. It understands the pull of gravity. It knows how to carry it for a while. The fabric, or the woven branches, or the cloud-thick cushion beneath you. It rises to meet every curve. No part of you has to hold itself up. Not your jaw, not your chest, not the small muscles around your eyes that have been working all day. As you rest here, the sense of up and down begins to fade. There is still a direction to things, but it matters less. The body remembers, but the mind stops checking. Above you, below you, around you, only air. Soft, still air that feels almost like a presence, like a quiet friend that does not need to speak. Your thoughts, if they are still moving, can be imagined as tiny weights in your pockets, not heavy enough to hurt, just enough to tug. And this nest in the sky, this hanging bed, knows what to do with them. With each breath out, one of those little weights loosens. A worry slips from a pocket. A to-do list drifts out from a sleeve. They do not fall fast. They do not crash to the ground. Instead, they hang in the air for a moment, then become light, almost weightless, like bits of dust in a sunbeam that no one is watching. You do not have to chase them. They can hover at the edge of the space, growing fainter, becoming outlines instead of solid things. The longer you rest here, the less certain the borders of your body feel. Where does your back end and the cradle beneath you begin? Where does your arm stop and the air start? It is all one soft conversation of pressure and release. Warmth meeting warmth, weight meeting support. If you sense any place that still feels tight or sharp at the edges, imagine the hammock adjusting, threads shifting, cloud fibers rearranging themselves, making a hollow exactly the right shape for that tension. The body does not have to figure it out. The sky bed simply reshapes around you, as if it has all the time in the world to get this right. Time, up here, behaves differently. It stretches like fabric. Minutes do not march in a line. They drift. They sway. You might feel a memory pass through, or a small future worry, as if a bird has flown near the edge of this nest, then gone again, barely disturbing the air. They are not intruders. They are just passing ships. You can watch them from where you lie if you like, or you can turn your attention back to the feeling of being held. Notice the way the air touches your face, not cold, not warm, just present. A soft, almost velvet stillness resting on your skin. Your hands, wherever they are, grow heavier. So heavy that the idea of lifting a finger feels distant, not wrong, just far away, like something that belongs to another time. The weight in your feet, in your legs, seeps downward. The hammock takes it. The nest takes it. The sky itself seems to drink it in. What remains of you here is mostly softness, mostly warmth, mostly the simple sense of existing in one small, quiet point in the air. If thoughts try to name this place, they may call it rest, or pause, or nothing at all. Names are not needed for it to hold you. You might imagine thin cords rising from the corners of this hanging bed, extending up into a darkness that is kind, not empty. They do not sway, they do not strain, they simply connect you to something vast and unmoving. In this suspended quiet, the usual rules relax. You do not have to keep track, not of time, not of feelings, not of what comes next. The body breathes. The nest in the sky responds with the smallest, slowest rocking. So slight it is almost imagined, yet your whole system understands it. A part of you that has been standing guard for a long time can feel this. It senses that for now, the watch is being shared. The air around you is attentive. The woven cradle is steady. If there is any last tightness clinging to your chest or your throat, picture it as a knot in the cords above you, not a dangerous knot, just an old one. With each breath out, the knot loosens a little. The fibers sigh and ease. Soon the cords are smooth. The weight is evenly held. Nothing is pinched. Nothing is pulling. You rest in the middle of this weightless room of sky. Half here, half somewhere beyond here. Edges blurred. Thoughts dim. The world beneath you continues, but it feels like a story told in another room, muffled, far away. Here there is only this soft suspension, this quiet nest, this gentle, almost forgotten feeling of being carried without needing to do anything at all. The weight of your body has its own quiet gravity now, as if something deep beneath you has noticed and begun to draw you down gently, steadily, without effort. Not down in a falling way, down like a slow, soft descent. You might imagine yourself standing in a small elevator, the kind that hums faintly, doors closed, lights dim and warm. The floor beneath your feet is steady, solid, unhurried. There is a soft button panel at your side, but no numbers, no choices to make. Only one smooth, glowing circle. It has already been pressed. You feel the slightest shift, a nearly silent sigh in the walls, the faintest sense of movement. Downward, your breath moves with it. Each exhale a tiny release of weight, as if, with every breath out, one more thin layer of tension steps off the elevator and stays behind. The doors remain closed. No one comes in. No one leaves. Just you and the quiet. The air in here is still, softly tempered, neither warm nor cool, just exactly what your skin can forget about. You might sense the subtle pull at the top of your head, a loosening in your forehead, like dust drifting down through a beam of light, only slower and slower and slower. The elevator continues its descent, not rushing, not stopping, just a calm, steady sinking through invisible floors. Thoughts may appear like numbers that never quite come into focus on a display, there and then gone again, not needing to be read, not needing to be understood. Some part of you may try to track the distance, to count the levels, to know where you are, and that part grows tired of counting, the way a hand grows tired of holding a bag that someone else can easily carry. So the counting is set down, and the elevator keeps moving anyway. You notice the weight of your shoulders, how they rest where they are, as if they too are being carried, supported from underneath by something that does not mind your heaviness at all. Inside this small room, time starts to blur. There are no windows, no clocks, only the soft, consistent sense of going down. You might feel your thoughts like sand in a tall glass tube. At first, grains slipping quickly through the narrow center, then more slowly, then slower still. Some grains have already settled at the bottom. They do not rise again. They simply rest, one atop another, forming a quiet, dense layer of stillness. Each exhale adds to that layer a few more grains, a little more weight in the place where everything comes to rest. The elevator hums on. You may notice the slight suggestion of walls around you, not tight, not pressing in, just enough to know there is an edge, a gentle boundary between you and whatever lies outside. Even that edge begins to soften, as if the walls are padded with the same softness as the floor, as if your outline is not so sharply drawn anymore. Your hands, wherever they are, have their own small gravity too. Heavier now, like they are slowly sinking into the surface beneath them, not far, just enough that the fabric remembers their shape. Thoughts that once rushed in like people trying to catch a closing door now arrive late. They reach the hallway just as the doors glide shut. You may glimpse them through the narrow seam. Then they are on the other side, staying where they are. You continue downward. There is a sense of passing through layers. The busy layer near the top, where everything is bright and loud and quick. That one is far above you now. Then the layer where worries pace back and forth, checking their watches. That floor is behind you too. Each level you pass grows quieter, dimmer, more spacious. You might imagine a soft indicator inside the elevator, not numbers, just a slow descending line of light, dropping from the top of the panel toward the bottom, one small glow at a time. With every small drop of that light, some part of your body follows. The muscles behind your eyes sink. The tongue in your mouth settles. The jaw finds a position where it can stop working so hard. At some point, it becomes hard to tell if you are moving or if everything else is drifting upward, away from you. Either way, you are deeper, farther from the surface where noise lives. The sand inside you continues to settle. Little pockets of stirring thought become heavier. They drift down through the space of your mind, spiraling slowly like tiny particles in a shaft of dim light. When they reach the bottom, they join the others, a thicker, quieter layer, dense enough that new grains land without a sound. Even memories that tried to stay suspended, floating and circling, begin to tire. They, too, drift down. They, too, find a place to rest. The elevator's movement is barely noticeable now, more like a feeling than emotion, as if you are sinking through something soft and welcoming rather than passing floors and numbers. Your body may feel heavier and lighter at the same time, heavier where it touches the bed, lighter at the edges where your outline blurs and fades. Somewhere above, the world continues. Doors open and close. Voices speak. Lights change. Down here, those things are only echoes, muffled through many layers, distant enough that they cannot reach you directly. You do not have to follow any of them. They can stay up there on the higher floors where the elevator has already passed. If a worry tries to step inside at the last moment, you might picture the doors closing with a slow, kind finality, not slamming, just meeting in the middle with a soft, padded touch. The worry remains in the hallway. You continue downward. At some level, the lights in the elevator dim further, not to darkness, just to a low amber glow, enough to feel the space around you and forget the details. Breath continues, an automatic movement, up and down, in and out, like the faint rise and fall of the elevator's hum. You are not steering now, not choosing floors, not deciding when to stop. The descent has its own wisdom, its own pace. Sand keeps settling. Each thought that once tried to stay aloft now finds it easier to sink, to join the quiet at the bottom. The more that gathers there, the softer everything becomes, as if you are resting on a deep cushion of everything you have put down. You are carried through one more layer and another, spaces where even the habit of scanning, of bracing, begins to loosen. Edges dissolve. The difference between your body and the surface beneath it grows faint, as though you are both made of the same slow, settling sand. The elevator continues its silent journey. No rush, no destination to reach before you can rest. Only this gentle, steady sinking, through layers of noise, through layers of thought, through layers of effort that no longer need to be held up, down and down, into a stillness that has been waiting for you all along. The light around you has grown very soft now, not gone, just quieter. Somewhere in the room, a lantern burns with a small, steady flame. It has been shining for a long time, watching over you. Each breath is like a gentle hand cupped around that light, sheltering it, not asking it to be bright. The flame no longer reaches for the edges of the glass. It settles closer to the wick, content with a smaller circle of glow. Shadows stretch out in the corners. They are not sharp anymore. They blur like ink slowly fading into paper. The weight of your body rests inside that dim circle. Soft outlines. No need to be clearly defined. On a nearby surface, a candle has burned low. Wax pooled and cooled, its wick glows at the tip, a tiny red eye closing. The air is thick with the memory of light, not bright enough to see details, just enough to know that nothing is asking for your attention. Each exhale moves through the room like a slow wind. It passes over the lantern. The flame bows, then rises again, a little smaller. You might notice how the shadows breathe with you. On the in-breath, they soften. On the out-breath, they deepen. The world outside this dim glow can fade, as if someone is turning a knob, gently lowering the brightness, one notch at a time. Your thoughts, too, can move toward the edges, like figures stepping back from the lantern, their features less clear. They do not need to vanish. They can simply move into the half-light, present but no longer in front of you. The glass of the lantern has a faint warmth. If you could touch it, it would feel just above your skin temperature. Calm. The small flame inside has done enough. It has lit every anxious corner it could reach. Now it chooses a smaller task. Just to glow, just to be. The candle nearby gives a last soft flicker, a brief brightening. Then it settles into a quiet ember. Even the ember does not hurry. It cools slowly, a tiny sun setting inside the wick. Your breathing follows the same path, from effort to ease, from watching every inhale to simply being breathed. In this dimness, edges blur. The line between your body and the bed becomes uncertain, as if both are made of the same slow shadow. The lantern's light no longer reaches the ceiling. It pools close to the floor, a small island of gold in a wide sea of gray. You do not have to hold the whole room anymore, only this small circle, only this moment. Even that may be more than is needed. The flame understands. It shrinks just a little more. Shadows climb higher on the walls. They fold over shelves and corners. They tuck the room in. Every worry that once needed bright light can rest in the dim. Problems lose their sharp edges here. They become soft shapes, easy to set aside. Your eyelids are like shutters half closed. Light seeps through, muted and warm, enough to know you are here. The lantern does not argue with the night. It does not fight to stay bright. It simply grows gentler. You do not have to stay fully awake with it. You can drift at the same pace the flame is dimming. Gradual, easy. Somewhere in the glass, the wick curls in on itself, a tiny gesture of rest, of turning inward. The room holds its breath between flickers. Those small pauses feel longer now, wider. In those spaces, there is almost no light at all. Just the sense of being held in soft shadow, nothing sharp, nothing urgent. The lantern's glow is a whisper on the walls, a faint outline of the world, barely there. Soon, even that will be more than you need. For now, this dimness is enough, more than enough. The flame leans closer to the wick. The glass cools a little more. Shadows settle into their final shapes for the night. You are here in the last light, not needing to brighten it, not needing to watch it closely anymore. If your thoughts return, the lantern receives them without effort. Its glow does not change. It simply holds them at the edge of its circle. And as your breathing slows, the light responds. A small sway, a softer shine, until even watching the lantern feels like too much. The dimness invites your eyes to close, invites your mind to loosen its grip. The room, the lantern, the fading glow, all of it slipping gently toward shadow, all of it ready to rest. And now there is only this, you here, your body where it is, your breath moving in its own way, nothing to fix, nothing to solve, just this quiet, slowly widening around you. If thoughts pass through, they can pass through. They do not need to be pushed away. They do not need to be followed. They can come, they can go. You stay, breathing, resting, as you are. The night is already holding all of it, every feeling, every little echo of the day, all gathered up without asking anything from you now. You can soften into that, even if only a little, even if you are not sure how. Your breath knows, your body knows. You can be exactly as you are in this moment. Eyes open or closed, awake or almost gone. It is enough. You have come far enough for tonight. There is nowhere else you need to reach, nowhere else you need to be, just here, with this breath, and this one, and this one. If sleep is near, it will come. If it is not, you are still resting. You are still allowed to be quiet inside, even with thoughts moving around. They can drift at the edges. You do not have to meet them. You can stay closer to the gentle weight of your body, to the soft rise and fall inside your chest, to the simple feeling of being here, in the dark, in the hush. You might notice the way the air feels as it enters, cooler, then warmer as it leaves. You might notice the way your muscles loosen, one by one, without you needing to do anything at all. Or you might notice nothing in particular, just a kind of blur, a soft, vague comfort. That is all right. This is your time with the night. Quiet, unhurried, nothing pressing in, nothing pulling you forward, only this slow, steady drifting. If your mind reaches for what comes next, it can be gently set down again. There is no next right now, only this soft middle, this pause that does not need a name. You are here, you are breathing. The dark around you is calm. It can hold the pieces you are not ready to carry. It can hold the pieces you do not even see. You can rest your weight against that, just for now, just for as long as you need. If a part of you is still watchful, that part can rest too. It can sit down at the edge of your awareness. It can grow quiet like a light dimming. Nothing has to happen. You can simply be a little slower, a little softer, a little farther from the noise of the day. like settling back into a familiar, gentle place inside yourself. You have been here before. You know the way, even if you do not remember. Your body remembers, your breath remembers. So you can let the words fade. You can let the spaces grow wider. You can let the night come closer until there is only the sound of your breathing and the feeling of being held by the dark and the simple, quiet truth that in this moment you are here, and that is enough for as long as you need, until even these words grow still and everything simply rests.